Have you ever wanted to start reading poetry but you just don't know where to start? Well, I want to help you start reading poetry and find some you actually like. My name's Mariah, and welcome to my knitting and poetry channel. Now, there's probably no wrong place to start. If something catches your attention, then by all means, enjoy it. Don't let feedback from YouTube or TikTok dishearten you because you like something and everybody else seems to hate it, or vice versa, everybody else seems to love it, but you just really don't vibe with it. Everybody has their own personal taste, especially when it comes to poetry. But if you really have no idea where to start and you find yourself just completely overwhelmed, I want to help you and give you a few places where you can start. Number 1, find a songwriter that you like that writes their own songs and read their lyrics like poems and see what you notice. What themes do they explore? How do they get their thoughts across? Do they use lots of imagery and extended metaphors? Do they use lots of alliteration and repetition, allusions? How do they structure their songs? Is it a chronological story or is it more stream of consciousness? There are so many creative ways that songwriters tell their stories, and they definitely deserve attention. I love Florence and the Machine, Taylor Swift, Aurora, Dodie, Hozier, Of Monsters and Men, Halsey, Phoebe Bridgers, Burnham, and more probably. Number 2, find more contemporary poets. If you are just getting started with poetry or you're learning how to really dive into poetry, their styles might be a little easier for you to get into than the more structured poems or the more classic poems that used to be more common. A few popular contemporary poets are Charles Bukowski, Maya Angelou, Mary Oliver, Sylvia Plath, and Andrea Gibson, which brings up another good point. Number 3, listen to poetry. Listen to readings of poems or find an open mic near you. There are always artists trying to share their work somewhere. TikTok has also been a great source for this. That's where I found Andrea Gibson, and they've quickly become one of my favorites. It is so refreshing to find poets who are actively writing the kind of poetry that I love, the kind that makes you stop and remember how beautiful and fragile life is, the kind that jolts your heart but also coddles it. It is truly an experience to find poetry that you love. Number 4, last but certainly not least, start with the classics. You gotta start somewhere, right? And they are classics for a reason. I personally love so many classic poems. They're the first ones that I heard in school and they helped me fall in love with poetry. I think everyone should at least give the classics a try. Even if they're not for you, that is totally fine, but you might be surprised at how relatable they actually can be. A few great classics are Emily Dickinson, Shakespeare, Robert Frost, Rudyard Kipling, Dylan Thomas, Walt Whitman, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Edgar Allan Poe, and Rilke. Sweet, sweet Rilke. You can never go wrong with Rilke. A beautiful soul melted on the page. He talks about love and nature and God. It just has everything. And if all else fails, go to the poetry section of a bookstore or library and just randomly pick. What's the worst that could happen, you know? Oh, good luck and happy reading.